Today, on the community development segment, our focus is the dam spillage. And of course, you know that over the last few months, since October, we have been making trips to the lower Volta to take relief items, first of all. We went to several communities to give relief items. We actually had a medical mission to certain places, and then the resettlement centers also began as well. And through the months, there's been a sense of urgency to do more, you know. And I think that one of the most important things that has happened is that at different points in time, there have been triggers for things. So, for example, the initial thing started when the team on 97.3 Citi FM got a message that, listen, guys, there's something happening in the Volta region. Our area is getting flooded.
Yeah, it's getting flooded.
You know, of course, at that point, we didn't know the extent of damage. We didn't know the extent of the havoc that it was wreaking. You know, we knew nothing about that at all. Then, Tokpo, for example, somebody sent a message and said, we need a place for shelter.
A place for shelter.
And that's what triggered the building of the resettlement center, you know. So different things at different points in time. It wasn't necessarily just saying that, okay, we have this bright idea, let's go do this.
Yeah, let's go do this, yeah.
But it was the community reaching out to say, hey.
Because of their need.
Because of their need, you know, and then management of Citi saying, okay, you know what, we need to respond to this call that is coming, you know. So we have a series of videos and want to play for you to see. And so let's go back a little bit in time, a few months ago. And our colleague, head of news, Vivian Kailoko, brought us a report on the progress of what was happening in the lower Volta. Let's take a look at this one. We'll come back, and there's a lot more that's coming up on community development segment this morning.
It's still the City Newsroom. My name is Vivian Kailoko, and I'm sure you're wondering where I am. I'm actually at Tokpo in the Shai Osu district of the Greater Accra region. I've come here because this is actually the first holding center under the City Volta Relief Campaign that we're putting up here in the Greater Accra region. I'm here to give you the progress report on the latest. Now remember, this project was commissioned on the 30th of October 2023, and we promised to do this project within 1 month. Where have we gotten to? Come with me. This facility is supposed to house over 200 people, at least 200 people, with 8 chambers and 6 toilet and bathroom facilities. Of course, all separated, male and female. So the construction has also gotten to the lintel level. This is the first chamber on your left side. You come in. This is how far the project has gotten to with the first chamber. You're looking at about between 20 and 30 people who will be housed per chamber here at the Shai Osu district of the Greater Accra region. This thing started on the 30th of October. Within 2 weeks, this is how far the project has gotten to. Massive progress here. I'll speak to the project manager, Richard Komache, to give us some more details. Hi, welcome to Citi Newsroom. You have been supervising this project since 30th October. Take us through what you've done so far.
This is an 8 dormitory building with 6 toilets and 6 baths in all. Yeah. It's a 1 month duration project. And for the time being, we spent 14 days now. So this, what you are seeing now, is a 14 days.
How were you able to do it within, 2 weeks? That's like something else.
We have a great workforce, 60 artisans in all, and we are working, let's say, about 14 hours a day.
Wow, because today is Sunday, and we still have people working. Usually people stop on Saturdays and Sundays, but you are still working on Sundays. Okay.
Today we are unlike, the artisans in the town, they don't normally work on Sundays. But because of the speed of the work, you need to convince them to come, some of them.
So we see about 7 of them on site, right?
Yes, now.
So these are the toilet and bathroom facilities.
Yes.
And then of course, but I want you to take me to the first unit on the left because I see you've got into the lintel,
Yeah, the lintel
level. And let's see what is happening there. Super Cement contributed greatly to our relief campaign. They gave us loads and loads of cement bags. I want to say thank you to them. So this is what their efforts have yielded. So Super Cement, thank you so much. So this is within what period?
This will take about 3 days. 3 days work.
Okay.
The wood works. After then the concrete work. The people will start. Then we start with our roofing works.
Okay, within 3 days.
No, the formwork. Only the formwork will take about 3 days.
Okay.
Formwork together with the concrete works.
And then the roofing level.
The roofing works together with the rafters, palings, and the noggins will take about 6 days. 6 days.
Okay. So the workforce, where are they coming from?
You are taking about 80% from Tokpo district.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, these guys with the chief, he said we should allow. So you are taking about 80% from this district, then 20% from our section.
So this comprises of
Masons, carpenters, helpers. We call them now. We are calling them helpers instead of laborers. Yeah. Then steel benders. 1, 2, 3 will serve as the toilet. 1, 2 will serve as
the washroom. This facility is going to get a borehole or you're collecting the water from?
We are collecting the water from the school. From the school. You know, there's no problem with water here. So after this is complete, we connect the water from the school.
So remember I was talking to you about a whole local economy, you know, picking up because of this project. And you see people selling to the workers here, and the workers are also being paid through this project. So boosting the economy, which because of the disaster dwindled a bit. I have noticed something. I've seen a little lovely boy, Dennis he says it's called, and he's come here to the construction site to do some business. Do you go to school now, or because of the floods you're not in school? You are going to school, but your school is where they are housing the people who were affected. So when do you go to school? You learn under the trees. Wow, you take me to where you're learning. But what are you selling here? Can I look? What do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to be a pilot.
A pilot? Wow. Okay, so a pilot, you have to speak up. So you're selling banku. So how much is the chicken?
5 cents.
Okay. So when did you start selling here?
Last week.
Last week. Mommy noticed there was a construction happening here.
Yes.
So we're buying everything for you today. Is that exciting? How much do you think everything will be? Every food here, I'm buying it today to give to the workers. So you can go home and read your books. How much is everything?
I'm selling some. So the soup is 50 cents.
Everything is 50.
This one 50. This
Okay.
one 50.
Okay.
And this one 30 cents. Sell some.
Okay, so this is, you said one is 2 CDs, right? This is 150 CDs, 50 CDs, 100 CDs, yes. And this is 20 CDs. So 120. So it's supposed to be 120, but we're giving you 200 CDs. To take care of everything so that you can go home and read your books, right? So I'll take you where Dennis now has to learn because his school building has been taken over by people who were displaced by the spillage. So we'll go there briefly, then I'll take you to where they are, the school building, based on which we're bringing them here. Where the makeshift classroom or makeshift school area for the people here. And so then, which people sit here?
Class 6. Only class 6.
Class 6. And then, so from class 1 to JHS?
Some are there.
Where?
The Bangalore.
Well, I'm taking you to the other place where school happens. So this is actually people's house, people's homes. I'll speak to them. And I'm told this place is now used for a classroom because they've occupied these schools. How are you coping with that, you that you live here?
We take it normal.
You take it normal?
Yeah. They are children, so we can't do anything about that.
The spillage didn't affect you, did it? You were fine.
Fine.
This is the holding center, the temporary shelters for people displaced here in Tokpo, in the Shai Osu district of the Greater Accra region. I want to give you an idea what they're going through or how they're living based on this unfortunate incident. So you see, this is actually an uncompleted building. It doesn't have windows and all that. So you can imagine it's a classroom unit actually. So you can imagine what they go through at night without the windows to protect them from mosquitoes and all that. I've come to this room. Mommy, good morning. How are you? How is it? You will speak today. How is it going?
It's good.
How long have you been here? 1 month. So how do you manage? Where do you sleep? Where do you sleep? On the floor? On mattresses? Where are your mattresses? Over there. So you're here with your children and your husband. Come with me. Your provision shop, everything.
Water take everything away.
Is it far from here? Where your shop?
No, it's far.
So this happened about a month ago. Okay. Do you have children as well? Yes. And the husband? Where is your
Oh, no, me bring it though.
So your children, are they going to school?
The one that came out to school.
Based on what happened, they are not going to school.
You want me to
Right. So have you seen there's a project happening across here? What do you know about that project? Tell us about the project.
It's like how things are going on. Everybody, our things, everything, we lost our things, and everybody is crying for help. So we beg you to help us.
Okay. My colleague here, take the charge. What are you doing?
I'm doing presentation.
So you're helping some of the families too. Yeah. And so we've come here today, spend a bit of time with the residents here to understand what they're going through. So if you're watching, these are the conditions in which the people displaced by the floods are currently in. So let's all help our brothers and sisters here to have a better life. So we are providing that shelter for them. So reporting from Tokpo in the Shai Osu district of the Greater Accra region, my name is Vivian Kai.
All right, so that was our head of news, Vivian Kai Loco, bringing us a report as far back as October last year, when we initially went underground to see what was happening there in Tokpo. Yeah, and we saw so many people displaced at that point in time, and the way they were living and all of that. And significant to note that our MD was the one who was actually filming the entire, report there. Samuel Atamensa himself on the camera.
I think he did a good job.
He was doing camera, he was doing
lighting,
sound,
he was doing sound, he was doing everything.
He did everything there.
One person.
1 man thousand.
That's the word. 1 man thousand.
Yeah, but through this entire experience, one person has been consistently in and out of the lower Volta, bringing us updates and reports. Last week we had him here and we had a conversation with him. He's back again. Fredo, good morning.
Good morning,
How
Fred.
are you?
Good morning, Kata. How are
Freddie,
you?
you're looking very good. You look like $1 million.
No, it's like you knew that. So
He's coming to
I
breakfast
am,
there.
I am excited. The excitement from yesterday has actually trickled in today, and I'm bustling.
It's
in
affecting
that,
your outfit as well.
So
what's the excitement from yesterday? Tell us about.
The excitement yesterday,
Yes.
Charlie, it stems from the joy on the faces of the people we met yesterday, about 300 of them.
Okay.
They've now handed over the shelter we've built for them, a state-of-the-art shelter. I've seen a number of shelters around before.
Yeah.
So if we say a state-of-the-art shelter,
this is
one
it.
that you can really call a state-of-the-art shelter, because it has all the facilities you can think of.
Yeah.
Specifically the washrooms that are so up to scratch. Everything there is so decent for human use. And that tells you that to some large extent, we have really, really delivered on our promise. The people they had no hope. The MP said it yesterday that we became a beacon of hope for them.
Wow.
And this was a tremendous feat we achieved yesterday. I mean, the excitement on the faces of the children took over the entire space.
Really?
They were all over the place, on the beds.
Wow.
Oh, Charlie, you should have seen it.
So, you know, the last time you were here, we were anticipating this handing over.
Exactly.
You know. So you're painting for us a picture of the emotions on the ground. Let's talk about the leaders, the community leaders. How did they feel? What did they say? How did they express themselves?
The headmaster of the Tokpo RC Basic School yesterday was clad in white. Everything he was wearing, the shoe was white, the socks was white. And is it Agbada they call it, that long dress. And then everything he was putting on yesterday was basically white.
Obviously a sign
It's
of thanksgiving here.
showing that level of excitement. And it depicts so well in his outfit. He was just so elated about what was happening. Don't forget, he was in touch with Sanda from the very first day the people were displaced. When they told the story, he was one of the vocal people advocating for some help for them. And seeing that significant edifice that was put up yesterday and handed over, I mean, he was full of praise for Citi FM and Citi TV. And it was so visible. On the faces of the MP for the area, the DC, they were all present. All the stakeholders that matters, they were all there. The traditional leaders, they were all present. That tells you the level of importance they've attached to this whole handing over ceremony that we did yesterday. It was a very brief ceremony, but I tell you, it has so much impact on the lives of the people. Don't forget, about some 280 people are going to dwell in those facilities. It's a dormitory style facility with washrooms. But the sustainability point of this whole thing is that when someday these people get to move to their previous community, they would now use that place as a school building. Because in the film we just saw, shot by the MD, look at the classroom. The state of the classroom is still the same. Yesterday, when I got there, the people were still sleeping in that windowless classroom. Okay, so it tells you that indeed, if we had not gone there with this level of support,
this is what they were left with.
I mean, they will still be here, and they have nowhere to go to. The buildings they left had collapsed. So, in effect, if they leave the school campus, it was going to be a serious issue. There was this incident that I saw that was quite worrying. Kindergarten 1 and 2 put together in one class, class 1 and 2 in another class 3, 4 in one class, 5 and 6 in one class. These people have different syllabus they used to.
Remember, they're in the same classroom.
And they're in the same classroom. How is the teacher going to blend this whole teaching and learning process? And that was quite a worrying situation. So the problems we've been able to solve is that when the people relocate to this new settlement, they make their classrooms now vacant for the students to now go back.
So they can go back to school at least.
As usual. So at least we've done what Napoleon could not do.
Chris, you know, the part of what Fred just said that really struck me is how that, you see the classrooms where Vivian was walking, the windowless carcass of a building that the people were in there. If this resettlement center had not been built, the people today,
that is where they would have been
in that same building. And for how long they'll be there, nobody knows. You know what? I think we should take a look at what happened yesterday.
It's still the Citi Newsroom. My name is Vivian Kai, local, and I'm sure you're wondering where I am.
We have been on a tortuous journey to Tokpo, a community which has been affected by flooding. We've been driving for many hours trying to reach them. As we said, we're trying to deal with different communities, and this is the Shai Osudoku district. Tokpo is a small community, and on our way, we've just been met by a broken bridge. The floodwaters have overrun the bridge, and we are now trying to measure if we can even drive across. And we're exploring whether we should just present the items at where the bridge has collapsed, or whether we should continue. We've been driving for many hours. We left Accra quite early, and it's been a torturous journey through Asutuare, lots of villages, and now we are at Tokpo. From what you see, you are a water guy. Do you believe the truck with the donations can cross this water body? Because it looks pretty big.
Well, that depends on what the riverbed tells us, and perhaps ideally we should use the smaller vehicles to cross.
Okay.
And when we get to the middle somewhere, someone should get down and actually check the firmness.
I'm not the one doing that. You are going to do that. So we are
the firmness of the waterbed.
And the other funny thing is that a bus just crossed, so it seems like it's possible. So
yeah.
we're going to test it. Our MD says he's going to test to see if we can cross the broken. The truck will be a problem. That's why I said we should just give them the things here, because the truck we are carrying has a big bucket, and the way the truck is connected, we are afraid that there might be. I don't know whether it's a dislocation, but because the bucket is like, there's a different technology. It's not a compact vehicle. So our concern is that if we attempt to cross the broken bridge with the truck, it might get stuck, and that would defeat the whole purpose. So we are contemplating whether to rather give the donation at the banks of the river, or whether we should risk it and cross. And it's also the sun is also, we are losing the sunlight as well.
So we brought some cooking pots.
Gazette, cooking pots.
Coal pots.
So here we are at Tokpo from the 20th of October, when we first came here to file a report, saw the state of the classrooms that they were in, decided that this was one of the things we're going to do after the relief campaign. We are back here today, the 17th of January, to commission this facility, which is the first of a number of facilities. It's a dormitory type facility for displaced people from flooding. Eventually, it will be used by the school here at Tokpo. It's going to be a very brief ceremony. It's a sense of great relief, a sense of gratefulness to God and to all the people who've helped us. We're moving into the ceremony right now. After that, we'll get and look more closely at the buildings. So that's what we're doing here at Tokpo today, Wednesday, the 17th of January.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, our honorable chiefs, a member of parliament, and then our DC, the pastors, and the people gathered here. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of this community. Indeed, when the call came for us to visit here, everybody, the only reference on the lips of media people, I must say, was Mepe. Everybody thought everything happened in Mepe until Umaru Sanda helped us locate this place. And it was a bit of a contradiction. The reason is that nobody thought that Greater Accra was part of the mess. Everything was Volta. And so you can see our t-shirts is Volta. Now, when we came here, the idea was to donate food relief items just to make lives better. Some of the institutions that helped us are here today because we need to recognize the effort that they have put in. Indeed, they could have kept their money or they could have put their money to any use, but they chose to bring their money as a result of the call that we made.
We've heard from our Citi FM MD, Citi TV MD. Next, we're going to hear from our donors, those who have come to support us. Indeed, the day we came here to cut the sword, there was a long trailer of cement. I've never seen cement plenty in my life like that before. It was 1,000 bags of cement, and SuperSem did that for us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the sales manager for SuperSem.
So when we got the news about the flood, we couldn't hold back because we are passionate about the people. So the first thing that we had to do was to contact Citi FM and Citi TV to ask what we can do. So we came in with relief items, and later we thought that no, we can build dreams because that is actually what we do for a living. We build dreams by providing quality cement.
So we are going to hear from the Customs Workers or Customs Staff Association, and to do the quick presentation and explain to us why they decided to support the cause.
I said so because when we all got the news, we were concerned, and the avenues to begin to channel donations through were not forthcoming. So when Citi started, we were delighted. So what we do was to appeal to our officers to make voluntary donations. And to our surprise, in less than 2 weeks, we were able to raise in excess of 200,000, out of which we made the initial donation of 225,000. So in addition to what we have done, we understand Citi TV and Citi FM are still in the process of finishing the building. So today, we are as well donating 50,000 to the Citi TV and Citi FM Foundation to support the purchase of the beds into the building.
When we heard Citi deciding, initially I think it was just support for the area, but later on they decided to build shelters for those affected. And our business is also to help bring electricity into shelters and houses and other construction. So we thought it would be a good idea to partner with Citi and supply the cables that will be needed so that you can have electricity in the shelter.
This is a good initiative. And so right away, we had to make a donation for this cause.
They deserve a round of applause.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
It was actually very wholesome to watch, and
Chris,
especially the kids jumping on the bed. I don't know how I feel.
Don't you feel so proud to work here?
Too proud. Like, I'm saying it with my chest. It's like my shoulder pad has come up. Yeah, we are the city.
I mean, look,
yeah.
Look, it's both humbling and, you know, I'm exuding a feeling of just pride.
The excitement.
Yeah, just to be part of this family.
Yeah.
This is what I believe in.
Those who did this video, they did a great job because, I mean, they took us back
Yes.
to the very first day.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, Bernard
and Bernard was the one who was, yes, you know, so
see how the
nice
water has
chronicling.
actually dashed into the community, took over the entire place. They couldn't even make their way there. Then suddenly there was a way. Now there is a will.
Yes.
We've been able to do this.
Yes. Yes.
The children, they really express so much.
It was actually very nice. It was actually very nice to see
the moment where the children
climb the
beds is actually the summary of
the entire thing.
Our gratitude to every listener and every viewer of Citi TV.
Yes, yes, and
those moments,
true.
the joy on their faces.
Yeah.
As we were watching, for
Yeah,
me,
it's true.
that's the summary of our gratitude.
And you know,
as a
I think
station.
talking about gratitude, it's very important to say a very big thank you to each and everyone that donated, because we couldn't have done this alone.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
couldn't have done this alone.
I mean,
but
Super Sem,
yes, exactly. We are just a media house, but look at us, and that's because you listened, you decided to be empathetic, you decided to contribute. And I was listening to Bernard this morning on the radio, and he said, be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
So you are the change that you want to see. So thank you to the listeners, the viewers, the companies, and the force.
This particular facility was named or tagged with Super Sem and Tropical Cables because their donation was so massive,
substantial,
was so huge. And Perez Chapel was
I think
also
Super
there.
Sem gave like 1,000 bags of cement.
1,000 bags of cement.
That's a lot of money,
kept following up.
Think about it.
And then Tropical Cables also did the wiring
if one
and
bag
everything.
if one bag is about 80 Ghana cedis or 90 Ghana cedis, then you're looking at you're talking about almost 100,000 cedis from them. Then Perez Chapel also gave about 100,000
Ghana
cedis.
cedis.
Okay.
Then you talk of Tropical Cable, they did the wiring and
for the entire
facility.
And the customs also.
The custom also gave us, I think, 250,000.
Yeah, 250,000.
This entire facility, according to Samens, costed about 850,000 cedis.
Okay.
So the conviction here is that if a private organization
can
do this at this cost, then I mean Ghana should develop at a faster pace than we are seeing it now. Because if this is done even in each major community, be it a vocational center, depending on the cultural setting of the people, the kind of agricultural produce that the people are even engaged in, even if it should be vocational school, if you consult with major stakeholders, you'll be able to tell you that, okay, when you give us a facility such as this, we want to turn it into a vocational school. We want to turn it into an agric processing center. We want to do it into, let's say, a food storage facility. Okay, so they can decide what to do.
Whatever they want to do,
based on their needs.
So, in effect, we need to begin to demand so much from the people we pay our taxes to.
True.
Because if a private organization can do this, I mean, the people we pay
now,
each and every day,
now some
we should be able to do
people,
more than this.
some people may have much better memories than others, and so some people will probably remember how when we started, we did say that the initial design that we were going to do was going to cost about 200,000 per resettlement facility, right?
And that was going to be temporal, don't forget.
Yes. But then we have to remind people that what happened along the line was that the design were altered to create a more permanent
and sustainable
facility. You know, that then can, you know, it's no longer temporary. It's like this thing should be designed properly and should be for the long haul, really, you know. And so, yes, the price.
The prayer is that we don't foresee any form of disaster that will really necessitate people being displaced to this level. But when any eventuality should happen again, I mean, no one knows tomorrow. No one knows what can happen the next day. So the sustainability is there, everything. Now, the icing on the cake is the gate. You know gate?
What is gate?
Do you know gate? Do you know Nika?
Nika? Yes, I know Nika.
What's that?
Yes, Nika. The one that used to
cornmeal.
The cornmeal.
Yeah.
Charlie, the manpower one. The manpower one. Charlie, someone donated it. And that was installed in the middle of the compound.
Are you serious?
effect, they are going to be doing their grinding of maize, the cassava and everything. Then the meal is ready. You don't need to go far.
You are not going far. Everything is
travel. Oh, man. So, Charlie, everything there is sorted.
Yeah. And I noticed that when we got the drone shot, I also noticed that the land around there is quite sparse. You know, they have large land, you know, a vast land around there. And so they'll be able to plant their maize just around, not far away, and all of that. Then you have a
school park. Yesterday we were there and the cattle came grazing on the school park and everything. And when Sander was doing his piece to camera, the cows were passing. And I was like, the cowboy was doing
the cows and the cowboy. Yeah.
So, Charlie, the land is so flat, beautiful. The people are also calling for investment. Yesterday in the classroom, the current state of that classroom, until the people leave this current settlement center we've given them, the students cannot move in. So they are equally asking for furniture. They are asking for other learning materials. When you see the state of the school, I don't think, excuse my language, I don't think you would allow your child, your ward, to go sit in that classroom to study. They were sitting on bare floor. You see a desk having about 4 or 5 people, and there is this long bench at the back, the back benches, about 12 or 15 of them were sitting, no table to write on, nothing, absolutely nothing. The school is just in dire need of help. Totally dilapidated. There are no windows. The teachers are there. How do they even feel comfortable to go there to teach? That is where they work. The condition of teachers in this country. Charlie, seeing the state of the school yesterday, and now that with this disaster, most of them have been displaced. Okay, they now have to cluster in one class 5 and 6, like I mentioned earlier. The entire school needs
That thing even beats my imagination. Charlie. Class 5 and 6 together in one classroom.
Exactly.
Look at the extent of the syllabus of class 5.
There's a disparity.
And then the extent of class 6.
For a child to break through from that community and become somebody tomorrow, it takes a certain level of grace. Because you are literally behind what is happening. You've been left behind. For them to even see the mouse of a computer someday, it will take a certain level of grace. But we can only pray. You see, God does things in mysterious ways. The way this disaster happened across the country, in I think 3 major regions, Greater Accra, Eastern and Volta. But the way Sander strayed into that community and told their story, and they are the first beneficiaries of this project we are embarking on. We can only pray that a certain level of grace will locate those children in that community. But aside the grace, we equally as a people need to be deliberate about our development.
I agree.
We need to be a bit more conscious that we want to bring all children in primary schools at a certain level. They should have access to the same level of classroom, the same level of teaching. This day and age, chalkboard teachers. You see, you are writing on chalkboard and the dust is entering into your eyes and everything.
And your nose,
Charlie,
your health.
The real life is in the village out there. We shouldn't be in Accra here,
and
in Kumasi,
thinking,
in the regional capitals, and thinking that all is well with this country. We can do much more than we are saying and believing. If even a percentage of the monies that sink into corruption across every facet of our institutions, if a percentage of that should even be deliberately dedicated to saying we want to develop primary education, a lot will change. A lot will change, and the children who we so-called the future of tomorrow. Okay? I was sad yesterday reporting on that state of affairs, and mothers sleeping on bare floor and everything. Charlie, it's a mixed feeling. You go there and you are like, no, we are totally detached from the
reality of things going on
in Ghana. I tell you, it's quite emotional. But I tell
like
you,
when it's time
for election, the V8s will get there.
Well, I like the way you talked about grace, and obviously, yes, when it's time for election. But before we get to the election time, I think it's also important to state out that if you are an individual or even a company that wants to embark on any CSR projects and you don't know what to do, I mean, you should think about this. You should have this behind your mind that there are people out there that still need our help. Yes, we have put this building there, the resettlement buildings out there, but we're talking about the schools, we're talking about the kids, we're talking about the future of these kids out there. So if there's any way you can contribute, yes, you can actually reach out to us. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that, you know, Fred, so the community members are going to move into the resettlement center. They will leave the school premises.
They'll make way for
but the school premises
is begging for attention.
Is begging for attention. Yeah. So you see, so now the call that Chris just made is critical because we can't stop. I mean, for us here, I mean, I don't even know what management's decision will be, you know, in the next coming months once we hand over all the different properties, you know. We can't stop, you know. So yes, we're still open for more, you know, contributions and donations.
At this point, Tokpo would need learning materials for the kids. If you have any form of learning material you want to donate to the school, that would be very, very helpful. I think after Tokpo, the next stop will be Bando Toko. In the Bando municipality. DS is also ready for handing over. I understand Adan is also ready, which is Adan East in the Greater Accra region. So I think
in the coming weeks, we're going to be unveiling all of these other properties as well. Fantastic. Well, we have the DCE for Shai Osudoku on the line with us, the DCE, Honorable Fred Ofei. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Honorable, so just walk us through your experience, your feeling as this property has been handed over now to the community there. How does that make you feel?
Let me say a very big morning to your listeners and also to your MD, Mr. Samet.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much, and then your colleague, Umar Sanda. I am more than excited for what I've seen, but the only thing I shall continue saying is appreciation goes to Citi FM, simply because Shai Osudoku is the first district just after the Pond Dam.
Yes.
And the city hit us before any other district. But the attention wasn't there until Citi FM came to apply.
Yeah.
And then everybody got to know that Shai Osudoku was part of the flooding victims.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what Citi FM has done for us. And my people are also happy about what they've done for us. To be honest, if you go and see the edifice that was put up within 2 months, you'll be marveled. I hope you'll be showing it so people will be seeing it and your listeners will also see it. The only thing my district will continue to say every now and then is we are grateful to Citi FM. My people are so happy. My kings and everybody within that enclave is happy about what Citi FM has done.
Honorable, before we let you go, just quickly tell us, when initially we said we were going to put up a resettlement center, honestly, what did you think? How did you feel at that point?
Initially, you know, the timeline given to me by your MD was 2 months.
Okay.
So, in fact, putting up such a huge, because their plan was submitted to me.
Yeah.
And then putting up such a huge structure within 2 months, I became a little frightened.
Okay.
But lo and behold, today the lamplight has been seen.
Yeah.
And now I believe in your MD that every time that you say something, he can really deliver.
Yeah.
So it's one of the marvelous things I've ever seen in these few days of mine.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking to us this morning. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, so I also appreciate you, sir.
Honorable Fred Ofei, he is the DCE for Shai Osudoku. Clearly elated, clearly excited, and not surprising. Yeah. Fred, so you know, I often think about government and government promises and, oh, we'll do this. And then 3 years' time hasn't been done, and we're waiting, and then there's excuses, there's re-promising, and there's all kinds of things. I'm not surprised that he said he was afraid.
Yeah.
Because Charlie,
he's a politician.
Yeah, he's used to hearing things, and he knows seeing things, and the lack of things happening. You know. So he said 2 months. He said, "Hey, 2 months. I've seen the plan. Oh, this thing, can you do it in 2 months?" You know,
we were in Mepe the other day, right, to cast sort for the building of a clinic or a health facility for the people.
I think that's our latest project,
yes.
right?
The third day, we're there on, I think, was it Wednesday? I actually forgot the day, but we got there. Let me just paint a picture of what I'm about to say. That we got there, let's say, on Wednesday to cut sort. Over the weekend, I was there to actually give coconut seedlings to the MP for planting around facilities and stuff like that. And I was amazed the speed of work on our site.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, wasn't the place we came, it was all bush.
And there was nothing there.
We mounted canopies and we were doing, I mean, a brief ceremony where everybody was making speeches. The MD said, we're going to hand over this thing in 2.5 months. And when I got there, they've already lifted the foundation. And I'm like, what is this? Wow. So, I mean, to a certain, they've really understood the urgency attached to this whole construction, and they know that it's a relief, and relief must come quickly to alleviate a certain level of pain that people are going through. So we can also just thank the workers, the contractors, the masons on site, the carpenters, and all of them who also dedicated. They dedicated their time to do this, and they are really, really delivering on their.
Thank you, Fred.
Right,
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you. It was really nice having you here.